Hello everybody and welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a very quick look at some gameplay and the performance of Resident Evil's Reverse multiplayer beta that was just set live the other day. All the gameplay that you're about to see has been recorded on our SAPPHIRE NITRO RX 6800 XT graphics card paired with the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU. We played the game at a 1440p resolution and with the in-game settings completely maxed out. I will also include a clip of the game running at its minimum settings towards the end of this video for those of you that are interested in seeing what sort of scalability the game offers, but with that said, let's get right to it. Okay, so let's start off with the obvious. This is looking very different to what we're expecting to see from Resident Evil Village, and very similar to the recent Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, which leads me to believe that it's going to be unwise to make any assumptions to do with how Resident Evil Village is going to perform based on the performance that we are seeing here. That said, I do intend to cover Resident Evil Village as soon as it becomes available, so be sure to slap that subscribe button if you've not done already so that you'll be notified when that video goes live. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I jumped into a match of Reverse was that the game's got this really strange looking comic book filter covering the entire screen. Edges have that sort of inked outline look, and gradients and shadows look like they're using a kind of halftone technique, which at points does look pretty nice, but if I'm being honest, most of the time it just makes the whole image look super grainy to the point where it can actually be quite distracting to the eye. Thankfully, you are able to disable this effect via the options menu, though it is worth noting that due to the maps being much brighter than what they were in the single player games, the maps frequently appear to lack contrast and as a result end up looking kinda washed out. It's by no means ugly, but it's certainly not all that impressive either. Performance, on the other hand, does seem to be pretty decent. I've not actually gone back and played Resident Evil 2 or 3 on the 6800 XT, so I can't really compare them directly, but it does appear at least to perform right about where I was expecting and hoping. On average, I'd say that our performance was sticking between 180 and 220 FPS whilst the game was maxed out, and any drops below that were almost entirely due to CPU limitations, hence why you'll notice our GPU utilization drop down quite heavily from time to time. If we lower the settings down to their minimum while sticking to our 1440p resolution, we see our frame rates jump by around 25%, but at this point we are literally entirely CPU bound, so performance in this case is going to massively vary based on what CPU you are running. And since the Ryzen 7 5800X is right up there in terms of performance, I think that it's incredibly unlikely that you're going to find a setup that performs much, if any, better than what we are seeing here. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, I have to admit that I really don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, I absolutely love multiplayer games that try to do something different, be that mechanically or thematically, and Reverse does that in spades, but on the other hand, I'm really not a massive fan of Resident Evil's core mechanics or gameplay. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't like the Resident Evil games, I actually think that they're pretty awesome, it's just there is a massive difference between playing something for a day or two and playing something for weeks, months and maybe even years to come, especially when you consider that the franchise's strongest elements such as the survival horror gameplay and story have all been stripped out of the multiplayer. That said, if you are a massive fan of the mechanics and gameplay on offer, and I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that are, then I think it's certainly possible that a decent number of you could have a great time playing Reverse, though it does have to be said, based on what little I did get to play during the beta, there is most certainly a lot of work that could go into better balancing the game, as right now there's certainly a chunk of RNG involved in terms of actually finding enemies to fight, and some of the human characters simply don't stack up against the others all that well. But anyway, I may decide to check out the full game once it releases in a few weeks' time. I will most certainly be checking out Resident Evil Village when that drops, and in the meantime, if you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, then please let me know in the comment section down below and I will try and get back to you. For now though, that's going to be me done for today, so from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video, and subscribe if you've not done already, and with all that said, until next time, I'll catch you later, bye bye.